Hi there, this is Lynn with the Queen Scene, and I thought I'd give you a quick tour of my crafting space. My room is actually down in the basement. It's far from perfect, but it works for me. I'm just going to kind of do a little pan of the room. Got my cubbies with some of my paper tray inks. Blending brushes. My distress inks. A few cards on display. Clean color. Brushes. And I've got my tool caddy with a mixture of different tools and Copic markers that need to be refilled. I ended up taking an old lampshade and made like a mobile out of die cut birds and flowers just for some decoration. Got my lamp. I've got this organizer that I keep some smaller stamp sets in. And I usually have a bunch of white card bases cut and scored and ready to go, but I'm low on those right now. I've got my handmade Copic marker chart that I made. Keep some of my basic tools, scissors, glue, that kind of thing handy. And it also holds some white cardstock. And I've got a plastic sleeve that I keep some of my stencils in. Kind of thing. Got scrap white cardstock in the back. Nothing too fancy. I keep my Copic markers in these little baskets I found at Hobby Lobby. It works great for me because if I'm coloring, I can just pull over a basket and pull the markers out that way, or I can take them upstairs and sit at my dining room table or watch TV and color. So I've got a couple of those. I also have used them for some of my 6x6 paper pads. Big Shot machine, my die cutting machine. This thing is old as the hills, but it's still kicking. My paper trimmers, Carl cutter. This thing I've had forever. Works great. My Canon selfie machine, which I use to print off pictures to scrapbook with. And I've got an ink pad holder which holds my Stampin' Up! Ink pads, which I've been slowly trying to replace or replenish. On top of that, you can see I've got a small collection of Lawn Fun cards that I made. I ended up getting some fat quarter fabrics and some embroidery hoops to create some artwork for my walls down here. One of them I had a bunch of leftover buttons from crafting and ended up doing a little bit of a rainbow technique there. I have my shelves above my workspace. I also have a rain gutter filled with ribbon underneath. I don't know if you can see that. Over near my workspace, on the shelves above, I keep one basket for my dies. Just cut up plastic file folders and use my label maker. And I keep them on magnetic sheets. Just gonna pull one out. Pull it on just like that. Helps to kind of keep them organized. Here I ended up going to the container store and got a few different containers to hold my paper. This orange one here, I have two different cardstocks. One is 80 pound and one is 110 pound. On top of that, I bought this container from Joann's and ended up filling it with all of my different sequins and things like that. I have extra paper and punches up there. and some markers. These I have extra pattern paper according to color. My friend Bonnie ended up creating this beautiful box for me. It's a gift box that looks just like my blog. The header on my blog, all handmade by her. I've got some stamps, wood stamps out on display. Box that my friend Kim ended up having made for me for all my sewing. Extra ribbons, supplies. Let's see, I guess we can do drawers. Underneath my cubbies, first drawer is envelopes and tapes and extra glues and a few ink pads back there. That's super neat. The second drawer are all my ink refills, some sponges, embossing powders, glitters, stickles. On the bottom drawer, I've got some extra 6x6 papers according to color. I've also got these little organized bins that I stamped and die cut a bunch of different images with so I can take them on the go in color. Underneath, to the right of where I sit, I have more stamping supplies, my big wagon wheel foam tape, some stamping blocks, glue dots, tape, stamp cleaner, tape gun, some small blocks of distressing ink, stamp cleaner, my Misty stamping tool, and things like that. The next drawer are punches. I had more and I got rid of a lot of them, but I still keep these just in basic shapes. Underneath that, some embossing folders, containers filled with buttons, and different gems, some trays for different gems, some baker's twine in the back. Underneath, my Stampin' Up! Ink pads, another stamp positioner, and my score buddy, and some of my supplies for my Canon selfie. To the right of that, my clear envelopes and magnetic sheets for storing my stamps and my label maker. And down here, got my paper, most of my cardstock. Colored cardstock is Stampin' Up! And I've been trying to replenish that. And I have it according to color. All of it labeled. Towards the back of my stamp room, I have my Kia cubby. And I keep some of my albums, magazines, felt, books, things like that. On top of it, I have some loose block stamps. And I keep all my 12 by 12 paper according to color and kind of a rainbow order. Pattern paper, solid paper. And to the left of that is how I store my stamps. Most of my stamps. I keep them in these white buckets that I found at Joann's, which are no longer available, maybe online. And I usually keep my stamp sets in the clear pockets like this. And the die is either in an envelope or on a piece of magnet sheeting. All of them labeled with the label maker. I also have a few more Stampin' Up! Stamp sets up top. I've got albums, some completed and some not completed. On the other side of the room, I have my command center, is what I call it. It's my desk where I have my computer. To the left of that, I have a cart with my printer and a silhouette machine, Cricut machine above that on the counter. I have some magnetic boards attached to the wall with some letters above there. And to the right, I have my pens, few pictures, a messy pen drawer. Underneath that, I have another file folder, hanging folder drawer that carries my neutral colored cardstocks up front and paper tray ink cardstock. Towards the back, I ended up finding these nice little folders. I think it's Staples. They have the pocket. I try not to keep too many scraps, but these are nice to hold some larger size scraps as well. Other than that, on the bulletin boards in front of my computer, try to keep all of my stamp sets that I have listed, so when I'm sitting here making my blog posts, I can look up and catch the name of whatever supplies I'm looking for or that I've used. On my bulletin boards, I keep the magnetic boards. I keep cards and photos and things like that. Other than that, that is it. I hope you enjoyed this quick little tour of my stamp room. Have a great day. Thanks.